Hey traders, John Howell here. Bit of a market update for you. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so see that trading course there on the screen? You can get free access to that, link in the description. So let's actually get straight into the actual stock market itself. We can see right now that on the stock market, something I was talking about with my clients today is we can see right here on the stock market, we can see this whole 4,100 area and the 4,200 area is indeed a area where it's had a lot of problems in the past, as you can see, right? So if I bring this sort of like a band or an area through there, right? You can see exactly resistance, resistance, resistance. It's a whole area that's actually happened through there. So the big thing that I'm noticing is you can see, look at this, all this support, all this resistance, a little bit of support and resistance going on there as well too. And then just below it, all that level through there. So the stock market, the S&P 500 would clearly need to get above the 4,200 level for this to be a true rally. Now, just remember that we are still in a high, lower high, and a potential lower high environment. That means we still could be rolling over soon, potentially, no one knows, right? But we could be rolling over soon to continue this downward trend. If indeed we break above 4,200, the trend is now up. That means the buyers are in control. That means we should start to see a much more significant movement on the upside when looking at the S&P 500 there. Looking at the Dow Jones, and we can see that the big thing about the Dow Jones, look at this here on the Dow Jones, right? So let me just take this off the screen here. That one there and that one there, right? So we can see, look at this here, bit of a double top. Came down, rallied, gave us a lower high. It broke out of this triangle pattern, as you can see. And now, if I bring this over a bit more, you'll be able to see how possibly even that level through there, I would have to say, somewhere through there would be the area, because that's where it's picking up a lot through there. Possibly, it looks like maybe possibly even somewhere through that angle through there somewhere, right? So somewhere through that. We can see here that it actually broke to the downside, came back up and rallied. And then we can see, look at this here, right? We can see how we actually had this point, or we have this breaking down. So this actually could be a breaking out. If we start to get something like this tomorrow and this, and then we actually break this low here, we should start to see a bit of a movement on the downside coming out of the actual stock market itself from there. So that's what I'm looking at from there on the Dow Jones. Let's go look at the Nasdaq as well. Nasdaq is right at the level of resistance as well. Very, 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 very interesting point, isn't it, in the Nasdaq? Look at this here. So we made a bit of a triple bottom, triple top, and now we've actually came up to rally up again to see this top in the market here. So really interesting stuff what's happening on the Nasdaq markets there. So the big thing I'm also looking for and watching for is look at the mining sector. So we can see here on the mining sector as well, the mining sector is almost getting close to the GDXJ. Is getting close to an area of 2 levels of resistance. So that $42 level up to 44 is indeed, we can actually see is indeed that happening through there, right? So we can see the movement up through here, and then we can see possibly a movement back up, so possibly that $42 level. And then if we do that, we're probably going to get a bit of rejection of that as well too. So the SIL also, we can see that we're still basically stuck in this oval triangle with this oval channel here. So we're still stuck in that. Once we actually, if we do start to break out of this channel, which is this point through here, low, high, low, high, low. If we do break out of this, once we start to break below this level, then that could be the start of a next move down from there. Let's go look at the GDX as well too. Now the GDX is actually getting close to, or pretty much right at that level. Is it that level through there? Or is it more through there? It's probably through there, isn't it? I'm just looking at the areas of resistance. What I'm looking at right now, guys, to draw my support and resistance lines, is I'm trying to see what area. So that probably, there's a lot of work around the $35 area through there. So that's where we probably could actually start to see a movement back up towards that area, and then maybe even pause, and then start to reverse on that as well too. So we can see that's what's going on there. Looking at the silver market, silver's actually still stuck in this overall channel pattern. Like, as you can see, we're still not really doing much. We're just slowly rolling over. The big thing you notice, look at this here on the hourly charts. You'll notice that we're actually starting to do this, right? High, lower high, lower high, lower high. We're starting to get this lower high here. So if indeed we do break the 23,500 area, we can see if we do break that sort of 23,000 or 23,000. Imagine silver being 23,000. If we break the $23.25 area, that's when we can start to see some really big movement on the downside from there as well too. And last off the list here, guys, looking at the gold market, and the gold once again, guys, is so strong, but it's just one of these days, guys, we're going to start to get that nice strong pullback out of this. We just don't know exactly when, but we're probably going to get that nice big pullback out of those markets by looking at this level through here. So the thing that I also, let's go have a look at the good old Bitcoin as well too. So we have a look at this here, go look at Bitcoin and bring up the chart for you. And we can see, look at this here, Bitcoin has just had a very strong move to the upside. We have completely changed trend. This actually may be the start, and that means I was wrong. I was actually saying we're probably going to get a movement on the downside down to around 10,000. We've actually broke up through there, up through there. A very strong movement to the upside as well. So maybe, just maybe, this is the start of an extraordinary quality move. Right up here, we could quite get a pullback and then maybe start a new upward trend, because now we were lower high, lower high, lower high, break down, break up to higher high. We could get a bit of a pullback and then maybe a new starting of upward trend happening on the Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin. The bitter. So looking at the Ethereum market as well too, guys, we can see that we also have indeed this high, lower high, and then we also have this area of resistance where we are now as well too. So Ethereum's not too quite sure through there, but we are definitely getting a nice movement down and a movement back up. So we could start to see a bit of a nice. This actually could be the start of a nice bull trend out of the cryptocurrencies.